Hey everybody, it's Paul, and today we are getting close to finishing up our Disney series of planning a Disney trip. I want to thank everybody again who has left comments on that. We are going to do a question and answer video coming up real soon. But today we're going to do just a bunch of different topics in one video. These are all topics that I think are important, and we'll give you some tips and some hacks as far as the Disney trip goes. But these topics couldn't make their own video, so you're getting them all right now. So first, let's talk about how you are going to get to Disney World and how you're going to get around Disney World once you get there. So the first topic is going to be flying to Disney World versus driving. Now, we have done both. We have driven most of the time, and we flew the last time. I have thoughts on both. I think that both are equally good options, and really it just depends on your budget and what you want to do at Disney World. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that all you want to do is Disney World. Although I guess if you rent a car, you could do like Crystal Springs and Kennedy Space Center and Orlando, just Orlando in general and all that other stuff. So I guess it really doesn't matter. But if you live close enough to drive and you're comfortable driving, I actually would prefer driving. The reason being is because Shannon and I, we want to have a vehicle while we're at Disney, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But so for us, having a vehicle that we have access to is important to us. So driving actually makes a lot of sense for us, but flying is really good from a time perspective. It takes us from where we live in North Carolina about 11 hours to drive to Disney. So that's 2 full days of travel, and the drive there is okay. The drive home is just brutal. Because after you've been at Disney for like a week, you're just kind of exhausted and tired and spent. It's really funny because Shannon drives everywhere. She really likes to drive, and I don't mind being the passenger. She drives us down to Disney World, but I have to drive us back because Shannon will start driving when we leave Disney World, and about an hour into the trip home, which bear in mind that's about 9 a.m. in the morning, she pulls over. She's like, "You've got to drive." And she just falls asleep in the passenger seat, which she never, ever, ever does. And she sleeps most of the trip home. She is just worn out from the trip. So anyway, driving versus flying, yeah, it comes down to a budget thing, and it comes down to how you enjoy traveling. Both are great options. Driving might make more sense once I talk about how you get around Disney World. I felt like I wanted to say some more with flying versus driving. Shannon, is there anything?
Oh, hi guys, I'm here too.
Yeah, Shannon too.
Is there anything? I don't know.
Okay.
Flying is nice because you had said that driving takes 11 hours, but for us, flying is very quick. So.
Oh yeah.
Did you?
No, go ahead.
Did that?
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was just gonna say the last time we went, when we flew, we left here at like a 9 a.m. or something flight. We landed in Florida. The hotel was great. They were actually ready and let us check in. But if not, they'll hold your luggage. And we had like a full day in the parks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, what Shannon said is right. By 2 p.m. we were in the Magic Kingdom and having a great time. So our trip actually started a lot earlier. Now I will give you a tip, a little bit of a hack. If you are going to Orlando and you are planning on driving and you're like us and you have a long drive, we make the drive all in one day. But what we do is we rent a room off of Disney's site. We actually, the last couple times we drove, we stayed right across the street from Universal Studios Orlando, and we went to Universal Studios for a couple days, and then we slept one extra night at that hotel, woke up that morning, drove over to Disney World and checked into the hotel there. They held our bags and we went to the parks. So we had a full day in the park because we stayed off site. That's something you can do. You can organize that however you want, but you could plan on driving all day to get to Disney World, check into a hotel somewhere off-site, stay the night there, and then drive over first thing in the morning to Disney World, be in the park when it opens. That's great for people if you're really good at being somewhere on time. Sometimes with larger families or with younger kids, that's a little bit tougher to do. Or if you're just somebody that on vacation, you don't really want to be on that much of a schedule, that may or may not be your cup of tea, as it were. So anyway, now let's talk about how you're going to get around Disney's property once you get there. And this is where the flying versus driving thing comes in. So we flew last time we went to Disney, but we rented a car because we absolutely want to have our own vehicle while on Disney property. The reason being is the first couple times we went to Disney World, we used their magical transportation system, which is like the bus service.
Magical Express?
Magical
Is that
Express,
what it
yeah.
is?
So it's a great perk of staying on Disney property. The bus will take you to all the different theme parks. It'll take you to downtown Disney. It will take you, it's not called downtown Disney anymore. It's called Disney Springs. They're always renaming this stuff. It will take you to Disney Springs. The buses will take you to the different hotels. However, no buses go from hotel to hotel. They go from a hotel to a theme park, and then from the theme park you have to go to another hotel. So that's important if, let's say, you're staying at All-Star Music, let's just say, but you have dinner at Ohana, which is in the Polynesian Resort. You're going to have to take a bus from the All-Star Resort that you're staying in, if you're starting from there, go somewhere else on that bus, like to Magic Kingdom, and then get on a bus from Magic Kingdom to the Polynesian Resort. Now, just so you know, in the comments below, I know a lot of people are saying, well, that's not really true because like there's bus loops. So let's say you're staying at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. A lot of times the loop is Wilderness Lodge, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, Magic Kingdom, or Wilderness Lodge, Contemporary Resort, Magic Kingdom. So sometimes you'll go from one hotel to another, but that's very rare. Don't count on that, especially if you're trying to get reservations. So with that said, we enjoy eating a lot at restaurants in different resorts. And so oftentimes we are going from somewhere to a resort, but then we need to leave from the resort we're eating at, like let's say Ohana, the Polynesian, to go back to our room at night. Well, we don't want to go from the Polynesian back to a theme park and then get on a bus and go somewhere else. It's like an hour between waiting times for buses and then the travel time. It's like an hour on the buses to do that. We much prefer having our own vehicle there, whether we rent a car or whether we drive our own car, where we can leave dinner, go get in our car, and then drive to our hotel room and be done for the night. So that's a personal preference for us. Because we stay on property, we don't have to worry about parking fees at the different parks because that's included in our tickets. If you're staying off Disney's property, that's going to be a thing. You're going to pay for parking at each park. So just consider that. Another cruel little trick that Disney plays, kind of, sort of. Shannon's going to laugh when I say this. The magical, or the Disney Transportation Center.
Oh.
Which is the portal to the Magic Kingdom, by the way.
It's the portal to somewhere else.
Yeah. So, Shannon hates it. I don't.
With a passion.
So,
Disney.
all right.
You're killing me, Disney.
So, if you ride Disney's Magical Express, the bus service, it will drop you off at the bus entrances to the parks, which is very, very close to the front entrances to each of the parks. That is the plus side of riding the Disney Magical Express.
Yes.
If you drive your own car, you're going to park in a parking lot. Some of the parking lots are absolutely huge. And then you're going to take a tram to the front entrance. So just be expecting that. You're going to have a long walk from your car to the tram line. You're going to wait in a tram line. You're going to take a tram ride to the front entrance. And then your day of walking begins. All that said, it's a very positive experience. I'm not down on it. I'm just letting you know what you're in for. The Magic Kingdom is different. The Magic Kingdom, you park in a parking lot bigger than Disneyland in California. No joke. You then walk a long distance to wait in a tram line. The tram takes you to the transportation center where you have a choice of boarding the ferry boat or taking the monorail. The monorail can take you to one of two places. It'll take you to Epcot Center, or it will take you to Disney's Magic Kingdom. And it will also take you to the Contemporary Resort, Polynesian, or Grand Floridian, just to be perfectly technical about things. You have to get on one of those two things to get to the Magic Kingdom, because when they designed the Magic Kingdom, they did it in a way where they didn't want you being able to park and go there. They wanted to preserve the idea that you're entering another world. Great illusion, but after a long day in the park, coming back to the transportation there, it's like you have to wait in this long line to get on either the monorail or the ferry to come back because everybody's leaving the park. And then you've got to get on a tram and then go find your car. It's a step that Shannon just does not appreciate.
No,
I
Shannon does not
I don't
appreciate
really
it.
care one way or another, but Shannon just dies a little bit every time that we go to the transportation center.
Well, and everybody around you is crabby. I
Yeah.
mean, you're surrounded by hot, crabby, tired people, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah. So that's kind of the plus of taking the Disney's Magical Express to the Magic Kingdom. Just another little hack for you there. Do what you want with that. We still, just so you know, as much as Shannon hates it, we still drive our own car to the Magic Kingdom.
Paul likes to torture me.
I do. So, again, we want the freedom of movement as much as we can have it in Disney World. So that's why we do that. That's why we put up with it. Most people don't mind those things. Of the two, Shannon, what would you recommend more, the monorail or the ferry boat?
As long as you don't have anybody that's afraid of boats, I would definitely recommend the ferry, because the ferry can accommodate a much larger group of people at once. The monorail, you could get up and have to wait for several monorails before you go, especially at peak times.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you could wait quite a while, whereas the ferry boat can really take a lot of people.
Yeah, the ferry boat, once you actually get out on the lake and it's moving, the breeze is quite nice, even during warmer times. The ferry boat's open air. The monorail, during peak times when the monorail's crowded, if people bump up against the doors, the monorail stops.
We were on a sabotaged monorail once. It
Yeah.
would go just a little tiny bit and stop because somebody kept pressing a door.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah, so-
You're like a prisoner in the monorail.
Hashtag prisoner in the monorail. All right, so we're done talking about how to get to Disney and how to get around in Disney. Make your own choice as far as that goes, but that comes down to a personal preference, but understand the differences. All right, let's talk about souvenirs and pin trading, because those are kind of one and the same. So souvenirs is a thing that, again, personal choice. This is all these things are going to come down to personal choice. Shannon and I, we always kind of had a budget in mind for ourselves and for our kids when we went to Disney. And we told them that up front, which we felt was very empowering for them. We felt like, hey, you have a budget to spend and you can pick anything that's within that budget. If you want the huge lollipop, that's what you can have, but you can't have the huge lollipop plus the pirate sword because they don't fit within the budget. That may or may not work for all families, but it worked very well for us. But it's very good to have a budget in mind as far as what you're going to spend before you get there, because once you get there, everything looks cute, everything looks good. They market it very, very well, and especially if you have younger people, they're going to want a lot. They're going to be infested with a case of the guineas, or the get-me's.
Stop talking about me.
So just understand, or maybe you don't want to put it in terms of like a budget. Maybe you want to say, I definitely want to get these three things. Like Shannon wanted to get a Mickey waffle, a Mickey pretzel, and a Pandora bead last time that we went to Disney World. And really what those things cost didn't matter because we knew that she wanted to get those three specific things. I wanted to get the sundae on Main Street, and a couple other things. So those are just kind of examples. I know some of those things are snacks, really not souvenirs. We didn't bring home the Mickey pretzel or the waffle.
No, we did not.
All right, another thing that you may see is you're going to see pin cards all over. I hope you guys can see these. I'm going to show you. Here's some Disney pins. These are Christmas pins, as you can see, in Star Wars pins. So those are kind of special. But you're going to see cast members walking around with lanyards on with pins stuck all over them, as well as you're going to see lots of different carts with pins on cards, just like you see these. That's for what's called Disney pin trading. So Disney pins are a huge collectible industry. The official Disney pins, you can buy all the Disney park properties, as well as through online, through the Disney store. The cast members who have the lanyards, they are there to facilitate trading. Any cast member will trade you a pin one for one. It doesn't matter what the pin they have is or what the pin you have is. They are required to trade you one for one. Some cast members will only trade with children, age 13 and under it used to be.
And they have a different color lanyard, so you know.
Yeah. So don't be offended if you walk up to a cast member and they're like, well, I only trade with our younger guests. They'll let you know that right up front. So yeah, that's kind of fun, and that's something that when our kids were a little bit younger, we did a lot of. All right, so a tip for you if you want to get started with pin trading or pin collecting and you haven't yet, at the parks, there's a lot of starter kits that are all themed, and there's also blind bag pins, so that's fun too. You may want to focus on a theme, or you may want to focus on a certain character, but there's starter kits that are there to help you. There's lots of Disney cast members that can help talk to you about pins at the pin carts, as well as you're going to see some Disney guests walking around with huge binders or like custom vests that are just covered with pins. I have found those people are very fun to talk to about pin collecting, and they love helping newer people who just are just kind of getting into it. They love sharing their passion for pin collecting with you. So over the years, Shannon and I, we've collected quite a few pins from various sources. We have some displayed downstairs. We have traded a lot with cast members. We've traded with other people. It's been a lot of fun, and there's a lot of memories kind of attached to some of those pins, because they have pins, really, like I said, for every character, for every occasion, including the special parties and parades and stuff like that, some of which are no longer even done at Disney World, so those pins kind of take on a little bit different of a meaning. For those of you who like collecting stuff, some Disney pins, not all of them, do go up in value. So you will see at the pin carts, some pins will say limited edition. Some of those will be a numbered edition, like there's only 1,000 of those pins made, or only 5,000 of those pins made. Just to let you know, don't feel like because it's a limited edition that that's going to go up in value automatically. We have learned over the years that that's not the case. Sometimes it is the case, but oftentimes it's not. Just collect what you enjoy collecting and what you would enjoy owning. So that's that. Another way that you can get pins is there are Disney outlet stores sprinkled throughout the country. There's actually one near my dad's house in Virginia, and they get pins sometimes. The one in Orlando, in the outlet mall in Orlando, there's two Disney's.
There's two different outlet malls, and there's a Disney in each one.
Okay, and they get a lot of pins from the park. The ones sprinkled throughout the country don't get nearly as many pins as they do. I will say we have only been to the outlet stores one time when we were in Orlando, and it was so crowded, even during the off season. I don't know if we'll ever go back.
I don't think we will.
So anyway, just another little nugget there for you. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about today is the special parties. So we talked about we're going in the fall when there's going to be Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. At Christmas time, there is the Very Merry Christmas Party, I think it's called. I think those are the only two special parties each year.
Well, they do things like the Star Wars
celebration,
like special events and stuff, but yeah.
Okay, so the parties are great times of year to go to Disney World because the park may be decorated in a different theme. There's going to be new, unique characters out, like you'll have Mickey in fall attire, Halloween attire, dressed up in a costume. Sometimes if you can find them, that's like a really hard find to get. Yeah, the parties are a lot of fun, but just be aware that a lot of times they might cost an extra ticket. So like for instance, Not So Scary Halloween Party, the Magic Kingdom will close early on the days that that's going to happen. And if you want to stay for the Not So Scary Party, you have to buy a separate ticket for that. So just be aware of that. Now, the advantage to that separate ticket is there's two exclusive parades. They do the same parade twice. There's going to be an exclusive fireworks show, an exclusive light show. Like I said, there's characters that you won't see during other normal times that are out, as well as there's exclusive merchandise, like the Poison Candy Apple, the Candy Apple Stein. Check that. So we bought this. This actually glows in the dark. This and other stuff like this is really cool. That's only out during those special events. As you can tell, we love Halloween.
Yes.
So that's actually Shannon's. She got that. I don't think we've ever drank anything out of that.
No, it's just decorative.
It's just a decoration. So you can pick up stuff like that at those parties. They're a lot of fun. The other thing about them is it's a limited amount of tickets are sold. So the amount of people in the park will be much lower than on a normal day at Disney. Meaning you have the opportunity to ride rides more often or more frequently. So that's something you can definitely take advantage of. But just be aware, if you're going to Disney World during those special event times, the Magic Kingdom or whatever park is doing something special, they will be closing early in order to facilitate that special event. So just make sure that you know about that. Now, Shannon had mentioned like the Star Wars event. There's also like the Flower and Garden Festival. There's the Food and Wine event at Epcot. There's a lot of different things throughout the year that are special events that don't cost an extra ticket. It's just always good to check and see what's going on, what's available, and what it's going to cost and not cost. One more thing with special events, another little hack for you is, especially if you have younger children, especially if you have younger girls, once they get there, they're going to want to dress up as a princess. Lots of little girls dressed up as princesses. I think they're cute as a button.
And Disney has a place where you can get them dressed for a small fortune,
yes.
like a princess.
Exactly. Or for the young boys, pirates. A good idea would be to take costumes with you. Either get your daughter a dress, a princess dress that she really likes, or take one that she already owns to Disney, and she can wear that while she's there. One thing that I see a lot is a lot of little girls really want to wear like fancy shoes with their dress, but you are going to be walking a lot. So maybe take a change of shoes, with you, because it's going to be a long day. Maybe take the fancy shoes and carry them with you, but wear tennis shoes or something, and then you can slip the fancy shoes on for a picture. I don't know how that would work. I don't have daughters. I see a lot of meltdowns happening at Disney.
And a lot of little girls being carried by mom or dad because their feet hurt.
Yeah. So there's a lot of moms that feet hurt too. So
yes.
So good tip for the adults out there as well.
Wear slippers.
Yeah. So anyway, take costumes with you. That way you don't have to buy one at Disney. If buying a fancy princess dress at Disney is like on the souvenir list, and that's one of the goals, that's one of the things you really want to do there, and it's going to make you happy, by all means do it. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying an option is to take one with you, and that may just help you out, may make your trip more enjoyable. So anyway, I think that's going to wrap this up. The next video is probably going to be the last video in this series. That will be the question and answer. So make sure you leave comments. Let us know anything we haven't covered, or anything you'd like to know specifically. We've been trying to respond to people individually in the comments as well if they have like a unique question that only really applies to them. So anyway, I think that's going to be it. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave it a thumbs up if you did, and we'll see you guys next time.